So now we go back to this path. And speaking more that Shiva, rather than what he was trying to tell me, that Krishna is the head of the yogis, no, Krishna is not. That would be Shiva, or the Shaivite path, because Shiva would sit there in meditation. And no matter how much Shakti would try to entice him, his focus was internal. Okay?
Shiva ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ਕਤੀ ਕਿੰਨੀ ਸੀ ਤਾਂ
So that's what this path is about. Okay? This path is about getting to realization. And realization only comes when the mind is still. And the mind is not going to become still when you're chasing all the external things. Okay? If you could translate for him. Yes.
He's knows already.
Huh?
He's understanding.
He's understanding that? Ah, good. Okay. If you don't understand, then just, yeah, good. So that's why on this path you receive Shaktipat, which awakens Kundalini. And the Kundalini brings up all of these things to show you you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the emotional content of these things, you are something which is prior. And what is prior to that is termed Absolute or Brahman. You are that Brahman, that which is unchanging, okay? That which runs like a thread through all of existence, allows existence to take place, but is not touched by anything in existence. That's why when there's realization, that there's always that still point of Brahman. And then Shakti continues its dance. But one is in that point of stillness and is not engaging, not caught up in the dance of Shakti. Okay, they view it. It's viewed. But it's still. With realization, then it's not either anymore stillness or motion. One is always in stillness and the motion happens around it. And it's not to. In the midst of motion, one still feels stillness. Not to. In the midst of sound is silence. Not to. It's not any longer like the dual mind where it's either sound or silence. In realization, even in the midst of sound is silence. There's a whole shift of consciousness that takes place.
ਉਹਦੀ ਸ਼ਕਤੀ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਆਪਣੀ ਬੋਡੀ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਇਲੈਂਟ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਉਹ ਸ਼ਕਤੀ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਹੈ.
So that's this path. This path is not about how to learn to live better in the world. Okay? This path is not about doing pujas. You have to be the puja. Okay? That light is found within. The fragrance is the path itself. You are the offering. You're not giving an offering in hopes of return for something. You are the offering. and one lays themselves at the feet of the divine. Like the Bible says, one does not see the face of God and lives. The persona at that point dies. You cannot get in to see Brahman unless the persona is left at the door. And then the illusion is broken. How can it be? I've never been born. I've never died. That story was an illusion. But once one goes beyond that mind and sees only Brahman, and it's not seen with the eyes, it's not seen with the senses, there's no persona there is seeing it, that is all that exists. More real than anything here. And it cannot, you cannot. There's no doubt in it. It's more real than anything here. And it means then at that point what happens is nirvana, which means blown out. All the conditioned mind is blown out. It's at an end. It's finished. Then remains realization. Nirvikalpa Sahaj Samadhi. The mind is still, effortlessly still. That's what this path is about. It's not about learning how to be a better person. It's not about going out and performing good works and earning your way to heaven. It's about going beyond that self, that me, that persona, and to see that it is not, it never has been. That what is there and always has been is absolute Brahman. It will be before existence, it will be after existence, has always been, and that is what the essence is. And without that essence, there would be no life. That's the most amazing thing. When all falls away and there's realization, and only Brahman, only that absolute is known, you know, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that there could have been no existence without it. And this is why all the laws in the universe are held into effect, because it is what it is. And why there's nothing to fear in evil. Because what is that? Just mind that's gone twisted away from the truth. So how can you get something that's more powerful than truth? You can't. You can't. What? So that's why with realization there's just stillness. There's just that peace that passes understanding. Like the Bible says, you find the rivers of living waters. You find the Ganges within. You find what is there. You're no longer looking for it in the external world, because where it is within. All these things you seek from any spiritual path is within.